All right, this is take one of putting in an outdoor fire pit. What I've done is I've picked up, I'm going to do a rather large one. It's going to be 14 stones around the base, which is, I guess, larger than typical by 2 stones. And what I'm doing now is I've dug out a couple of inches because I'm going to put a gravel base down below the pit. I'm not going to do one underneath the stones because whatever water gathers underneath the stones I'll just let drain out. I'm going to put a little like a French drain out towards a low-lying area of the yard over here. And so what I did to get it level is, you see that little thing in the middle, that's actually an upside down, or a little sledge, like a 3-pound sledge that I drove down into the dirt, which would give me a center point. And then I took my 4-foot level and used that as just a pivot point, so that no matter where I went around, and it's a little off right now because I've got some dirt that fell in over here, but you'll see that it's pretty close to level, and it's like that all the way around. I'm just doing some final little grading with a 2x4. Like with any masonry project, you want to make sure that your base is perfectly level. And if you're lucky, you'll have a helper who will just chase balls, give you a little break every few seconds. So what I'll do is I'm going to finish leveling that out, and I'll get the first few courses laid down. Get out of there. Out. Good girl. And come back to you. All right, so here we have level, and it goes out to the end. And what I'm doing, back up just a little bit here, I'm just doing one section at a time, using this as kind of like a compass. So I'll go to this edge, make sure that's level down there, and then I'll just swing it, and I'll use the level to kind of pack down and smooth out the dirt. And the good thing about this level is it's got this little edge, so that if any dirt gets caught in there, like against the side of the stone there, I can use the edge to just scoop it out. And lucky for me, I still have one of 2 helpers who is always willing to offer me some break time activities. She never misses. I don't know where her brother is, but probably digging a hole somewhere. All right, so anyway, let me pan back out here. What my plan is, as I said, is I want to put a gravel bed down. I'm going to dig a hole right where that sledge is buried, and then where the glove is there, it'll kind of go out that way. And you'll see I just got probably 2.5 cubic feet of just drainage gravel, just the basic stuff. And I don't know, so far so good. It's a little bit more time consuming than I anticipated. As you can see, I'm a firm believer in bringing out every possible digging, raking, trenching tool that I can find, just to make sure that I have what I need. And in the end, all I needed was a level and a sledge. So a little bit of progress. 4 laid, dog getting the ball, and it's so polite that she stays out of my hole. All right, I'll do a few more, show you how the progress goes, and once I get about halfway around, then I'll be checking level across. So far we're perfectly level across these 4, so I think as long as the bed is level and I lay the flat side down, as you'll notice there's a flat side to these blocks and then kind of a rough side. So I'll put flat side down, and then for the next course I'm going to do rough to rough, and then I'll have flat to flat going to the top course. So here we go, next course going in. I'm not sure what it is they say, and there's an expression about the best laid plans of mice and men. On my perfect little point here, I can't get the sledge into the middle again, or I can't get the level on the sledge in the middle again, because as you can see, my level hits on that side because I got these next 3 stones in, and it hits on that side. So I'm going to figure something out. I think I have an idea using this 2x4, but then I'll lose my cool little digging edges. But we'll see. I'll I'll keep working at it. I don't want to make this hole any wider than it already is. And so far, as you can see, it looks fairly level. So here we go. No, I'm thinking I'm not throwing right now. Gotta wait. Okay, so this seems to be working. There's an expression about a monkey in a football that comes to mind when I'm trying to do it, but the 2x4 keeps the other end of the level off the block and works with me here. And as you can see, I just need to bring a little bit more dirt into this side to keep it level. But again, across the top of the stones, it's close. The problem being that because these are, I'm putting the rough side up on this bottom course, which I'm now rethinking is maybe not the right thing to do. I can't get two points on opposite sides that are the exact same height because of the nature of the top of the stone. So I will deal with that. It's only going 3 courses. It's not going to be holding any weight, just heat. So I'm not going to lose a whole lot of sleep over it. Of course, unless I put the second course on and it becomes unruly. So I'll finish this course. I'll go get the next 14 blocks and see where we stand. All right. There's the first course, and it is about as level as it can be, and not perfectly round. I don't think. It's about as close as I could get with my little makeshift compass. So what I'm going to do now is I will take my highway department leaning stick. I'll dig up my little 3-pound sledge, and so you can see what that looks like. And it's just, I use this one because it's got that kind of high point on the top, and what I wanted to do was just have something that was going to be, you know, a fixed point to make everything else level on. And so now what I'll do is I'll dig the center out. I'll go down probably about 12 inches or so. I'll fill and pack that with gravel, the hole, and then I'll do that little trench going out, as I've said a couple times, and it'll go probably between 2 stones. And so I'll just have to pick those 2 stones up, trench, put the gravel in, tamp the gravel down, and what that'll do is that'll allow, if we get any big rainstorms or anything, any water that is not held in the center hole will be able to drain out and allow just the yard to soak it up. We actually do. I'm in central Virginia, and even though the entire mid-Atlantic is essentially a swamp, this yard drains really well. I mean, you can see in that pile of dirt there's a little bit of wonderful Virginia clay, but the vast majority of it is actually good topsoil. So I'm fortunate in that regard. All right, so let me do some digging, a little bit more throwing, and I'll let you see what the finished hole looks like with the trench before I get to filling it in with gravel. All right, here we have a basic hole and miniature French drain. You see I just stopped it just outside the pit there. The plan for this area is eventually going to be kind of a flagstone patio, but not today. So I'll eventually, oh, you missed, leave it. I don't want you to go over there because you're going to mess up my dirt. I'm very anal about keeping this stuff level. So, all right, let me get the gravel. I'll fill in that trench, tamp it down, and then fill in the hole and show you kind of what that looks like. All right, whatever the next step is done. Got the drain filled in, the blocks back in place, the hole filled up, and that was that's a half cubic foot bag, and then a little bit out of another half cubic foot bag. And then I'm going to put probably, I don't know, a couple inches deep all the way around of gravel, and then I will fill in around the edge, not with little glow-in-the-dark doggy balls, but with dirt, and that should be good for the base course. And this has probably taken me, all told, hour and a half, but I had, you know, a couple little issues of not exactly knowing how I wanted to go about leveling it and all those other little things. So hopefully this will help you out. All right, well, I'll go ahead and fill in the bottom, and I'll bring in the next load of blocks, maybe the remaining blocks and gravel, and hopefully I don't exceed the weight limit on my trailer. Maybe I should put the GoPro on for that. All right, be back in a minute. Here we are with a little bit of the next two courses laid up. The gravel is filled in. It's about 2 inches deep, I guess. Ended up using 4 bags total, so just 2 cubic feet. So not a whole lot of gravel. And tamped it down. I just used the back of the hoe to tamp it down, like so. And then I think the size of the pit itself will allow for enough airflow. I didn't think I needed to worry about putting some vents or anything like that in the lower courses, but even so, you can see there's gaps in those blocks. I haven't decided if I'm going to go back and try to get the what do you call it, the flat top blocks, because I kind of like the rough. It gives it kind of a little bit of a rustic look. I don't know if you can tell if I can get in close enough, but here's the smooth side of the block. So the top of the lowest course down here is rough, and then I put these upside down so that it's the smooth side up, and then the top course has this rough side up, which is kind of undulates and whatnot, and then it's its smooth side. You can see flat here and then flat down there. These things weigh a substantial amount, so they're pretty hefty. I would say probably 10-15 pounds a piece, maybe more. So I'm not concerned about dogs knocking it over or anything like that, and I'll probably come back and throw some benches or something around it while I wait for that patio to be done. So let me get this finished up and I'll show you the finished product. And there it is. I'm already sitting. Got a cold beverage. I think it turned out okay. I do need to, well, first get the dog out of the way. But I need to fill in a little bit of dirt there to the right. But overall, the top turned out to be nearly perfectly level. This is just some old scrap wood that I had in the backyard. There's some holly in there, some pine, a little bit of oak. But it'll burn for a little while, long enough for me to enjoy my beverage and the fruits of my labor. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, complaints, whatever, comment down below and let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.